Hey everyone, this is Martian Stephanie. I recently took a trip from Cologne, Germany, back to my home country, Taiwan. And through this process, I discovered that when you travel during this pandemic, by plane, you have to worry about more things than usual, especially concerning the COVID tests. It almost drove me crazy trying to find the most suitable place to take my test and also when to take it. This is especially true in Taiwan because there aren't that many testing centers there to begin with. And to make things even worse, their testing hours are very short, and some of them only offer testing on weekdays. So, to save you guys the pain and trouble of doing this tedious research, I decided to make this guide about taking COVID tests in Taiwan. When it comes to taking COVID tests, the first and foremost thing is, of course, knowing where these tests are offered. To help you do that, I'm going to show you a very fabulous website. It's actually a Dutch official website. And the reason why I'm showing you guys how to find this website through typing this sentence is because it's the fastest way to find this website. If you can memorize the link up top, you can access the website that way as well. As you can see, the Dutch government was diligent enough to find out all the testing locations in each country and kind enough to share it with us here. So it's not just Taiwan. If you're having a hard time finding a testing location in whichever country in the world, you can come to this website and find what you're looking for right away. And I'm sure there are a lot of countries that don't have testing locations right around the corner, like here in Germany. So if you travel a lot, better bookmark this website. But for our purposes, we're only going to look at Taiwan today. First up, it shows you where you can take rapid tests in Taiwan. And unfortunately, only one place in Taiwan offers rapid tests, in the sick bay at Taoyuan International Airport. I'll talk more about how they operate later. Right now, let's focus on the PCR list that you see here. Once you click on it, you'll see that they've thoughtfully listed all the testing locations in Taiwan according to region. First off is Taipei, because of course it's the capital and it has the most testing locations. So I'm just going to quickly scan through this list, and if you need the information, just go to the website and download the list yourself, and then you can look at it at your own ease. The telephone numbers of the hospitals are all listed here, but I suggest if you don't speak Chinese fluently to visit the website of these hospitals instead. I'm not trying to shame my own people, but I think most Taiwanese are not that fluent in English to be able to explain everything on the phone to you. Next to Taipei, I think Taichung has the most testing locations. So if you live further in the south and can't really find any suitable testing centers near where you live, then you may consider getting yourself tested in Taichung. Haha, they actually put Kaohsiung and Pingdong into a separate area by themselves. And last but not least, the East Coast. And that's all the testing locations in Taiwan. But if that's the only thing I'm sharing with you guys, that would be too lazy of me. So I've taken the extra effort to make this. Ta-da! A list of the 5 best testing locations in Taipei. A sincere apology to those of you living in other counties. But I really don't have the time to check out all the hospitals in Taiwan. Since I live in Taipei, I looked up all the testing locations in Taipei before I flew back to Germany, and that's how this list came into being. The most important thing to take into consideration when choosing a testing location is the testing time, as in when they offer their testing services, and when you can expect to get your results. This is especially important in Taiwan because, unlike a lot of testing locations in the world, they don't send you the test results by email. Instead, you have to go there again and pick up the results on location. If you really can't pick up the result yourself for whatever reason, you can appoint someone else to pick up the report for you, but be sure to fill out some special forms for that. This may seem obvious, but bears repeating. When you plan your COVID test, make sure you'll have ample time to get to the airport after you've gotten your results. don't cut it too close because traffic to the airport can be quite bad sometimes, especially from Taipei. All in all, I would say the Tri-Service General Hospital is the best place to get tested because they have the lowest price, 5,000 NT dollars, and their testing hours are fairly long, from morning at 10:30 to 7 at night, and you get the results fairly quickly, between 4 p.m. and 5 p.m. the following day. Another plus is, according to their website, they don't seem to have a limit to the number of appointments they give out each day. So everyone should be able to get an appointment no problem. Still, in case a COVID outbreak event happens and they have to test hundreds of people, or if they're simply overwhelmed by their current workload, it's still wiser to make an appointment early. In the event that you truly fail to procure an appointment at Tri-Service General, you can also try your luck at Chang'an Memorial Hospital or Taipei City Hospital because they both charge the same price, 5,000 NT dollars. But the downside with Chang'an is that they only offer testing weekdays from 9 to 10, so only early in the morning. But you do get your results fairly fast the following day afternoon. The other thing is, it's very hard to get an appointment at Chang'an because they only allow a maximum of 14 tests a day. I called 3 weeks before my flight to try to make an appointment, and they told me they were already fully booked. If you're as unlucky as I was, there's still Taipei City Hospital. And if you're wondering why there are so many names here, it's because Taipei City Hospital isn't really just one hospital. It has different branches. So this is the name of the different branches. And you do notice that at different branches, they have different testing hours and different times for you to pick up your report. Oh, and excuse these weird abbreviations. In order to fit everything in the box, I had to make up my own abbreviations. This is weekdays and this is weekends. And this is following day. Yeah, so 中心、和平、仁爱, and Yangming offers the longest testing hours. They offer testing on weekends as well, but on weekends it's only in the morning. And you also have to be aware that at Zhongxing and Heping, you get your results fairly late, like 2 days later. That means 2 days after you've taken your test. So, for example, you took your test on Monday, then you'll get the results on Wednesday. It says that at Ren'ai and Yangming, you can get the results the following day, but I think it's better to double check because on their website, they say that you get the results from their hospitals 48 hours later, but at the same time, where you can see the information of the individual branches, it says that at Ren'ai and Yangming, you can get your reports the following day. So I'm not really sure which is the right information. Better ask the hospitals yourselves before you book your appointment. If things somehow go terribly wrong and you couldn't get appointments at any of these 3 hospitals, there's still Taipei Veterans General Hospital. Their price is 5,500 NT dollars. And they offer testing weekdays from 8 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon. Fairly long, but they only offer testing on weekdays. And you get your results pretty fast. On at 10 the next day. I think this is actually the fastest of all the hospitals. So in case you're in a real hurry to get your results, for example, if you stumbled upon my video too late, then you could take this hospital into consideration. Last but not least, if these don't work out for you, or you just worked odd hours and their testing hours don't suit you, Maybe Mackay Memorial Hospital is the place for you. By the way, if you're going to ask other people where the hospital is, I better tell you that the Chinese way to pronounce it is 马街医院 because Mackay is so different from the Chinese version. I don't think anyone will have an inkling which hospital you're talking about when you say the name Mackay. They offer testing at 5,800 NT dollars, but they have really long testing hours from 11 in the morning to 11 at night. Yes, it's kind of like the whole day. But you get your report fairly late. It's after 8 the next day. As for express PCR in Taiwan, unlike other parts of the world where you can actually get the results as fast as 6 hours after your test, or even 2 hours, 1 hour, in Taiwan, it only guarantees that you get your results the same day. But if you really need to do it, the price is the same at all the hospitals. Or it can only get more expensive. Since the price is the same everywhere and your goal for taking an express PCR is to get the results as soon as possible, we should focus on finding the hospital that lets you pick up your results at the earliest time. And here, the Tri-Service General takes the crown again, because you can pick up your results between 4 and 5 in the afternoon. Taipei Veterans General comes second with a pickup time at 5 p.m. Everywhere else, you don't get your report until nighttime. So, unless your flight is midnight or early in the morning the next day, this really isn't going to help. To summarize everything, when it comes to price, Tri-Service General, Chang'an, and Taipei City Hospital are equally great. And when it comes to testing hours, Mackay Memorial Hospital offer long hours for both PCR and express PCR. As for test processing time, Taipei Veterans General is the place you can get your results fastest when you take a normal PCR test. As for express PCR tests, Tri-Service General is the one that allows you to pick up your results earliest. It would seem that Tri-Service General and Mackay Memorial tied because they both accumulated 2 wins. But since Tri-Service General also has long testing hours, I think people will focus more on the price. So I would say Tri-Service General is the overall champion. Oh, and an important reminder, these prices are only for Taiwanese and foreigners who have residence certificates in Taiwan. If you don't have a residence certificate, the lowest price you can find for a COVID PCR test is for 6,500 NT dollars at Chang'an's branches in Linkou, Jiayi, and Kaohsiung. If you want to stick with hospitals in Taipei, then the next cheapest is at 7,000 NT dollars at Taipei Veterans General and perhaps Cathay General Hospital. Several others seem to charge the curious price of 7,560 NT dollars, but I have only found a few that specifically name their price. Not all of them list their prices for foreigners on their websites, so you might want to ask around. A second reminder, I strongly advise that you guys visit the website of the hospital you're going to take your COVID test and carefully read through everything on the web page concerning their COVID tests because all the information I've given is only a rough outline of how they do things. A lot of them will ask you to report early to the hospital before your appointment. They may also ask you to fill out special forms or bring certain IDs to the hospital when you take your test. Plus, by the time you see this video, the hospitals may have changed their regulations already, and my information wouldn't be accurate anymore. So, better be safe than sorry. The fastest way to find a hospital's webpage concerning COVID tests is to type in PCR next to the hospital's name. Unfortunately, a lot of hospitals don't bother to make an English version. So if you followed my instructions and you can't find the information you're looking for, then I suggest finding out the hospital's Chinese name, copy and paste it, add the letters PCR, click on usually the first page that you see, and Google Translate it. Google Translate works less well for Asian languages, but it's better than nothing. And that wraps up this episode. If you find the information I provided useful, I would really appreciate it if you could like my video. It'll motivate me to make more good videos. Next time, I'll cover how to calculate when to take your COVID test before your flight, and also provide details about rapid tests in Taiwan, which I failed to cover today because of time constraints. If you're interested, swing by my channel again. Till next time then, bye!